They're important, and we are going to be starting on high rise this set. That is Sheph's pick, which makes sense. And here we go. And in fact, the first game is loading, so we'll pause that. Kotte as Seek.
Yep, I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. So we coming into the set, Shep did have expectations to be the top of gold coming into the season. However, week 1 he dropped a pretty convincing set actually to Cameraman. Well, not so Cameraman basically sniped him out, and Shep allowed a win. Oh, wow. Immediate highlight on Kotte for perhaps talking to the ambassador. The same thing in the last set that got us highlight. Instead, Shep decided that's a low-lightable offense. That was awkward. We tried to take a briefcase there and was like, that's not good. So we just bailed instead, hoping the sniper didn't see our momentary distraction. But we are still a low light, but we also have nothing done. That is perhaps the reason why we are low lit.
Stepping in for our first flirt, the ST is going to pick up the briefcase.
It's not a first flirt.
Yeah.
The ST is actually going for the briefcase. Debated. Kotte, still nothing done. The question is, Shep is a fairly behavioral sniper, but when you low light the spy, it's how much are you watching your low lights and how much are you willing to bring them back up, right?
50% on the first flirt. And with high rise, it feels like you do have not an excessive amount of time, but a little bit extra compared to other venues. So even though we only have 50% flirt at this point, I don't think we're in too terrible of a position.
Yeah, here comes a white contact. Maybe that's something that's going to get us brought back up here. But no, not so far. We are still a low light. But I do think that finishing would be something that brought us back up. Oh, never mind. Shot comes off onto Rocker.
Feels a little bit premature on that shot.
Well, the question is, did she have... So she has contact, right? What does she have 2 fingerprints? One fingerprint down there. Twin gets it. Center statues print. Drink print. Offer. No, she only had the 1 print.
Okay, I'm no longer going to click next game. I'm always going to do Control N. I wish that it gave us a little pop-up that said next game available, because you have to press escape to see if it's even available, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I'm really not sure about that shot.
She didn't have 2 fingerprints, did she?
No. And perhaps it was because it looked like a case of action priorities at the statue pad. You actually wanted to go pick up the statue, but instead you accidentally pick up the briefcase. Like maybe that is what the shot was for. Shep decided that was too close to the ambassador when you started to go path there.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
And then like it was wrong because then the action priorities got you. So perhaps that's what the shot is for. But that's really
it's a lot to shoot on.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot to shoot on. It's a bit of an inconsistent shot to be going for in SCL. So not a great start from Shep. Not what we like to see from his sniper, which is very strong. Was able to get out of bronze last season in SCL5. First place, which was rough. Let's see. Did we have any other opportunities for Rocker to maybe be completing missions?
She was in for the real contact, but of course there was a few, others in for real as well.
She did walk by the ambassador in a little bit of a weird spot. The problem is, even then, the fingerprint's not completing you the mission, right? It's going to be flirting. That's going to be completing you missions in the end. So that's always a bit of a hasty shot. And on a high rise where it's already a venue where AIs can complete and AIs can, get those fingerprints or get those inspects and then contact. When that can already happen, you really don't want to be making shots when they're not done with mission. That is one of the most dangerous things on a high rise, because on these 3 of 5 venues, the fact is AIs can complete, right? But that's balanced out by the fact that the sniper has a lot less to handle and a lot less to deal with during any given game. So you should just generally have a much better hold on what's happening during the party. So unfortunately for Shep there, did not have that, and now the next game is up. So we'll see if Shep can bring it back on a spy side victory. On reminder, this is his own pick.
Gotcha. I am ready. Go ahead.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Dells, we will analyze this Civ shot for as long as it takes for the next game to start.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was about to say.
But I can talk about this game all day if you want me to, all right?
Highlight on the Sheph.
It is not a problem.
So it looks like statue highlights.
Yeah. Statue highlights in for Kotte, a little bit more standard. Not going to be going in for flirts at all, but we are forced to start talking next to someone.
I think I'm behind on scoreboard. Was that our second game that we just finished? Or that was just the first?
That was the first game. So we have Kotte up 1-0.
Okay, yeah.
So right now we are in a lone conversation with Smallman, and oh, hello.
Is that a request?
We just rejected and then I think accidentally immediately requested. I believe that's probably missed or else it's going to be shot for. There's no reason to do that when Purloin is off like this. It is the soft tell setup for Shep here. Here comes a contact. It's a green test. One person out, and the SDA is also out, so only that front conversation has real.
Not seeing a lighting change on Pearls, even though she has fake. It's something that he's likely just going to remember rather than change lights for. Looks like he's just going to stick with his statue highlights.
Yeah, here comes a fingerprint onto the drink. That's pretty good for Shep. That leaves more fingerprints out on the venue and ones that are harder to track. Irish, unfortunately, is going to smudge it. As an SDA, she's not really frameable. We are going to go for this request. It looks like we're going to go for this fingerprint finish. Here comes a green test flirt. Maybe it's also a green test fingerprint for Shep. We're going to move away first. There it is. Green test on the fingerprint on the drink. We'll see if Kotte is on top of it. It was a request, so it might have been a little bit more conspicuous. So I think the plan is now to never go back to statues and just finish off with fingerprints.
Yeah, I love that. Leaving either fingerprint or statue or inspect on the board only half complete, so the sniper is waiting for its completion before they shoot.
Yeah, and I think that at this point, you really can't be completing statues. Like, you know, you could leave that half fingerprint done, right? But as it was a difficult, if the sniper's on top of it, they will think, okay, they probably just missed the difficult and want to finish like this.
Yeah, snipers are much more likely to credit a missed fingerprint than a missed inspect, so I think fingerprint is definitely the win here.
A missed inspect.
Yeah, it happens. There's ways.
You know, I don't often see missed inspects, I'm not gonna lie. Here comes the last green test on that flirt. Lots of green tests this game. I think we only had the one white test early in the game on the first flirt, and so far it's been all green going since.
We're running out of time.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. We haven't really been mentioning it since we were pretty close to finishing. Here comes, we're going to go for this briefcase here. Let's see. It's the moment of truth. It's a difficult fingerprint, though. It is. We hit the green test. We put it down. There's going to be OT. Is the shot being lined up, though? Here comes the OT. There's not much of it. Shot comes off, but no, shot does not come off. There's just not enough OT for Kotte to shoot, and Shep gets away with it.
Oh, wow. I wonder, would we see here in the replay if it was too late for sync? Would it say it?
Yeah, it would tell us if it was too late for sync. The shot was just never taken. The OT shot was lined up, but there just wasn't enough time. And sometimes that's really the judgment call you got to make as the sniper. You look at this and you think, okay, this is going to give me OT, but thanks to latency, it's not always that long. And sometimes it's almost no OT. So you really can't be waiting for those beeps like you want to be. So I think that's just a judgment call you have to make as a sniper, and Kotte is not able to make it. And that means Shep does tie it up with two spy wins apiece, or one spy win apiece, rather.
Wait, are you saying that my shot on Ryu is justified?
Well, no, because because the clock was already hanging. Thank you very much.
Right, I'm ready.
It wasn't on to Ryu. It was on an AI. All right. Kotte on spy side of high rise in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We're tied 1-1 here.
We are indeed at 2 spy wins so far. We'll see if someone can lock up that sniper side. Kotte was closer. Not able to do it though, and close does not have any meaning in SpyParty. It's either you won the game or you lost the game. The score within does not matter.
Irish picking up, or ST picking up a fingerprint.
Yeah, and in contrast with the previous set, we do have that Purloin is off. I think that I would say that this is the more standard setup, but at this point, I believe that Purloin is just becoming a lot more standardized within the community, within the meta, and so having so they're both pretty standard, right? Here comes a contact though. Yikes! We are the only one in for real.
Yeah, and at that point, it may look like an intentional fake, from the sniper's perspective.
Yeah,
because it's
maybe.
so bad.
But we do pick up the highlight for it.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty rough, and Kotte has no idea that he's the only real contact.
Yeah, and that's what's so rough, right? That is what is so difficult about this game now from Kotte's side. There were a couple people out for that contact, so you could perhaps assume that the SDA was out, but there were so many people in that other conversation that it's just kind of hard. We have no flirt, but we are finishing up inspects.
We'll see if the first inspect was missed. Did Sheph catch the first set of inspects on the far right?
I somehow doubt it. That's something that the sniper wants to keep very good track on. Here comes a bug, though, to finish up this game, and the shot comes off. Yeah, that was never going to work. I think the plan there for Kotte was to get that low light for not flirting with anybody, for the same thing they got in the first game, and then finish up statues, get that contact, and bug, so we don't have any suspicion, so we get away with that bug and not have the flirt done. After all, obviously, Sheph is watching for that flirt. However, the fact that we were the only real contact just absolutely decimated us. And now Sheph spying to try to break serve to go 3-1 up in the set on high rise.
Give me 1 sec, hold on.
Sure.
What's the hotkey to go to the next game? Control N, right?
Control N, yeah.
Do I have to... Okay, it's not working, but alright.
Maybe that's just in replays.
Maybe it is in replays, you're probably right. Okay, I'm ready, go ahead.
Alright, in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I think, a minute, we had about, a minute 24 on the clock. I think we just go for flirt there instead of bug.
Well, it's hard, right? Like, you might get shot for flirt anyways, but... And like, so that is exactly what I was mentioning, right? Is the fact that we did not know that we were such a big suspect at the time. In fact, we should look to ourselves like we're not that big of a suspect because we're not flirting. So I'm not super against what Kotte tried to do.
We had inspect on the board, so you think that someone is going to be less of a suspect because they're not flirting, but they have inspect complete? From the Spice perspective, they should consider themselves a huge suspect. In for real BB and inspect completed on the board, which doesn't happen very often. People are much more likely to look at inspects than flirt. But we do have this game starting off with a fingerprint.
You've already been low lit once for not flirting, right? So you know that everyone is being watched for flirt, including people who haven't done anything. So I think that just that game plan was not wrong. It was just unfortunately timed to where the SDA was out, and it could have definitely worked. There is an argument for just flirting, but I'm not gonna condemn Kotte for the attempt. Here comes a green flirt and a green contact with a fingerprint already done in this game. We've been completely ignoring this one to talk about the last one.
Yeah, and we did pick up the green flirt while we were in our talk animation we picked up the green BB during our flirt talk. It wasn't quite at the end, so we did cut the animation by grabbing a drink. Yeah,
so that means that if you assume that it's a white contact, we don't look like we have gotten any flirts in that conversation from the sniper side. Oh, nothing matters. Nothing matters. What happened to Kane? What did he do? Did he just go for 2 fingerprints in a row? Is that what happened?
It must be. Let me take a
Ambassador.
look.
Okay, hold on. So, Ambassador. Perhaps it's a bug credit for somewhere. All right, we'll put down the briefcase there. Who gets that? Shep does.
I don't know about that shot. I mean,
yeah,
he
it's
could have
really
flirted with Irish, so he has what, flirt contact, and then what does he do? He grabs a
yeah.
briefcase?
All he's done this game is been at green books. My best guess, my best guess is that Kotte didn't realize that book was from somewhere else and kind of assumed that they had missed Kane taking out of that bookshelf that had the fingerprint on it, and then was taking the print afterwards.
Oh, I was thinking that it was the fingerprintable book from Blue that the Imba had left.
Yeah, I think that might be it, but that's really huge. Shep takes out 3-1 despite an early unusual Civ shot on high rise, and now we're gonna go in and Shep ahead into ballroom. Now ballroom is a venue Shep has talked about not liking before. I believe he's also banned it pretty often, but hasn't been doing that so often this time. But don't you ballroom praise incoming me. I'm always praising ballroom.
You're not supposed to be watching Twitch chat.
All right, Kotte has salmon on ballroom. We'll see what he can do in this veritable playground of the spies. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Take control to redirect away from statues here.
Yeah. And we'll see if Kotte plays out his kind of standard game of going for a bug, and also fingerprints. Fingerprints is actually more standard than a bug for him. We do go for that first briefcase, but are beaten to it by the DA. So still no progress in the first 45 seconds here of ballroom. We check our watch, but we're not adding that 45 seconds back onto the clock. We are just trying to act innocent. This is kind of a rough conversation spot when you're not next to your ST, because you're picking up the suspicion that you might be flirting with. Oh, look at this! We're just out of there. We leave really quickly.
Do you have time to waste on ballroom like this? For, the first bit not getting the flirt, and now kind of leaving over here. How tight is the timing on ballroom?
Well, as you may know, I prefer to be more aggressive in how I play my spy, and I like to get things done quite quickly. However, ballroom does have a lot of opportunity to get missions done very fast later in the game, really at any point in the game. So timing-wise, we have 2 minutes left, which is more than enough to be completing missions. However, okay, here comes a fake, interestingly enough. A low light. Will we see low lighting for assume real at all? No, instead we just do see in fact highlighting for the real contact and neutral lighting those who were highlights before, but no low lighting. That said, the highlights onto those with the real contact is still valuable. It is attention given to other characters that the sniper is not giving to you. So it could be pretty good here if Kotte decides to start getting missions done. But that is the thing. Even if there is other progress on other characters and, attention is being paid to someone else, that attention only matters if the sniper either, one, misshoots, or you find an opportunity to play this. That could have been a bug, perhaps, but we don't go for it. It could have been a wrong arm bug with the briefcase.
And note that half of the party is highlight.
Yeah, so
quite a lot.
This is exactly my point. Like, having that half of the party highlight, that's just that much less attention paid to you when you try to do your mission. So here comes a flirt. We could go for a purloin here. Look, yeah, there it is. Green purloin behind 4 highlights in the front of the party. That could be devastating for Shep.
If we can get a reject from General here, we're in a really good position to possibly take this game.
Is this actually fingerprintable? If it is, then we could go for a fingerprint swap, but no, it's
the Imba
just a normal...
Ambassador has not moved from...
Yeah, there it is. See, there's that shot coming off. That's the benefit of that fake contact. Look at our position when this reject happens. Just go back to that spectation sniper cam and look at the party. 3 highlights at windows right in front of where we are, where Toby's blocked by a pillar, and by another highlight behind Teal. That's just a lot of attention that is not being paid to us as we get that green purloin done. And that pays off for Kotte. Very nice fake contact, very nice progress. We were looking like we're going to go try to finish anyways. I think perhaps there was a fingerprint on another statue somewhere else that we were going to go for and finish that way. But it doesn't even matter. Shep takes the shot. Kotte plays a very nice ballroom game.
Yeah, that was very impressive by Kotte and gives me hope that he's going to be able to, could easily tie this back up. I mean, it's already 3-2, but I would not be surprised. I think it's very possible that Kotte could walk out ahead on ballroom. Good timing all around, especially I was looking back, the ambo was actually glitched out at the blue bookcase for quite a while, which means that there was less opportunities for Kotte to either get a bug or a fingerprint, because both himself and the briefcase were there.
Yeah, that has been unfortunate for Kotte, but Kotte plays around it regardless, manages to get through. And now Shep, if he can win spy game on ballroom, he keeps his lead. But Kotte is sniping to tie it up here in 3, 2, 1.
Immediate take control. It looks like we're going to head to the window pad. Wait for our ST to settle down. Unfortunately, the ST heads into statues, so we're going to have to do a bit more waiting.
Yeah, for sure. Both these players, I think, preferring to start off with a slower, not necessarily flirting early kind of thing going on. Of course, flirting in this case would require going to statues, so not as easy to do as just stepping into conversation next to your ST. But we're definitely trying to play to the very low suspicion game. And I think both of them do like to have those fingerprints done.
They really are going for first briefcase quite often. I would be very interested to see.
I'm always going to point it out. We could try for that wrong arm bug, especially as Duke, because there is no snap back to the center. We just have that arm coming around. You'd have to take it at a wide angle for Kotte to catch that, but we don't go for it. And instead we just go for this flirt at the window pad out here. Rocker maybe gets a bug credit. Yeah, there's the highlight on her. We were both us and Queen. We were covering the ambassador right there. So Rocker could be a suspect. Who knows if Shep knows? But if he's on top of this, we could go for a purloin frame perhaps on Rocker. Call over Toby, green purloin while she's nearby. It's a pretty likely odds that she'll that he'll go to her, and that could induce a shot. Or we could just use that extra attention, exactly as I said earlier, to allocate, to have the sniper allocate attention to someone else that's not us. But we are a highlight, though.
Yeah, and right here we're just idling with Smallman, and I don't know if that's the real DA. With the real DA, so maybe buying a little bit of time to go for a contact later while holding in this CC. I was saying earlier that both players are going for the first briefcase that the ambassador drops quite often. I'll be interested to see if either of them pick up on that fact and start highlighting for it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Look at this. Ambassador goes into center statues. That is a big place you could start finishing now. You'd be finishing up inspects and... Whoa! Safety comes off onto wheels. What is that? Not a shot.
I think that's just indicating to us just that that's his top suspect.
Yeah, that is probably the case. Rocker going for this case. Look at this. That stare down of Rocker. We do not like her. I want to see if Shep catches on to it. Like we saw Sped Monkey catch on to the suspicion on Seek, I think it was, on Library in the last set. That kind of a read on the sniper laser on who they're suspicious of can be absolutely huge for the spy to pick up on.
Mm-hmm. We have quite a few highlights. I mean, with so many people highlight, they kind of start to blend in, and kind of the effect of the highlight starts to wane away. BB goes off.
I think that we would wanted to do a purloin there, but the ambassador was nearby, and we didn't get any of that happening. And we are seeing rejecting soon after the contact. That might be not good for us. Oh, look at this. Requesting a drink. Oh, we'd crash.
Dance.
Did we almost get salmon shot? Oh my goodness. We almost got salmon shot.
He's waiting for salmon to leave before taking the shot.
Yeah, Kotte manages to hold, but look at that. We try to hide behind Salmon as the crash happens to make it look like he did it, but Kotte realizes just in time, holds that shot, and makes the sniper one happen. It's all tied up 3-3.
Do you think that crash was on purpose to frame Salmon for it, or do you think that that was him just
I
making a
think that
mistake?
perhaps once, I mean, yeah, like the time is winding down at that point. Even a Purloin's not going to finish you the game.
Hmm.
So what timing does this happen at? This is at
About 13 seconds.
yeah, 13 seconds left. There's no way you're finishing missions at this point. So I think this was intentional. We tried to get Salmon shot thanks to that crash, but it did not work. Kotte smartly realizing this isn't a mission. These are only two people who could be doing it. And if they're trying to do a mission, they're trying to finish the countdown. Rather, they're not done with missions yet, which means I can just hold and wait for this timeout. And that's exactly what Kotte does, bring it back to 3-3.
So what you're saying is later Sheph should do it again, but when he's in mission win countdown, so the shot doesn't go off.
Now that would be fun. That would be fun to see.
I've got next one loaded up.
All right, Kotte on Bling Twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. You know, Screw, I realize that talking so much about how they might finish from their position, is particularly on Ballroom, I might be giving away some of my thought processes here.
It's okay.
On how I play Spy.
Keep doing it.
So promise not to use them against me. Thanks.
I think they'll still work against me anyways.
We failed that bug though. We are a speedy boy.
That bug didn't take?
Yeah, we triggered it a little bit too late. You want to trigger that? You want to trigger those bugs pretty early on these kind of fast characters, and sometimes, especially with Kotte. Kotte is someone who is incredibly skilled, surprisingly skilled for how few games they have, but those few games can sometimes cause players to not really have the same mechanical prowess that other top-level players have when, you know, you've got that thousands upon thousands of games. So perhaps that might be that factor coming into play. Kotte, I believe, how many games? Like less than 2,000, I think? Yeah, just over 1,500.
I'm making fun of you in Twitch chat.
Pressing right click at the correct timing. Screw this. Here comes the contact from Kotte. It's a nice contact. There aren't that many people out. There are a couple of fakes to be taken. Not even one low light coming off here early though. No reaction so far. Maybe looking for potential bugs or watching for purloins. Look at that. Plane Twin rejects. If we go for a purloin right here, we could get a plane Twin shot, but we don't.
No lowlights from the contact.
Yeah, no lowlights is absolutely huge. Getting that done. Not even highlighting for any reels. Here's Kotte going for that fingerprint again. So often these two going in for those fingerprints.
And no highlight onto us for getting the statue inspect.
I think that Shep wants to keep only one twin lit.
Ah.
That would that would seem to be the most likely case to me. I feel like if we get a highlight, the other twin's gonna go down to a neutral light. Oh wow. It doesn't even matter.
Aggressive shot.
Wow.
I mean, it's right, and he had the flirt pairing down.
Yeah.
I want to review. I want to review. Hold on. Let me point this real quick
hold on.
for Sheph.
We may have been credited with that bug. We did have that bug path by the ambassador that we never got the bug on.
Right.
We have the contact. We're, I think, seen with our ST 3 separate times. Like right next to them too, very often. So perhaps a combination of that bug path plus this flirt pairing causes Shep to want to shoot. But my question is, if you're crediting this bug, what's the last mission? Perhaps Shep was not completely sure about the fingerprint tracking?
I wonder if he was onto the fact that Kotte went for that fingerprint. I wonder if he's kind of taking a look at the replays and seeing that they're favoring it and saw that he went and grabbed that a little bit late and then said, okay, maybe I missed one, but I know that he for sure got the one at the statue. More games we'll be able to tell for sure.
Yeah, that could definitely be true. Also, maybe he was just sure about who the spy was. This is like very blatant flirting. 3 times coming to them, going next to them fairly close, and having that bug path. You could see Shep being pretty certain about it, even if the mission count isn't quite there yet. Taking that shot early is definitely a statement in this set. So maybe trying to trade on future percentage points against Kotte by not playing to the expected I'm going to hold until you absolutely could be done.
Right. Get in their head a
All
little
right.
bit.
Shep on Salmon on Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Yeah, Shep spawns at green immediately, turns around, takes control, turns around. We take out this green book.
Are we going to see a transfer?
Yeah, perhaps.
I'd like to see it. None of them have went for it at all on Ballroom here.
Yeah, no transfers in any of the venues so far, although, the first one was high rise, so there wasn't transfer on unless you're Yeesh.
Does Yeesh play with transfer on?
He likes to sometimes. It's one of his like little pet things on high rise.
And now we're just idling. I'd like to see us get a little bit of mission progress. Is bug an option here? Can you trigger from this far and then
Bug
make it
is
a
always
runner?
an option. And yes, of course it does.
Beautiful.
We see Shep do it. You can trigger that. It's a wrong arm bug with the book in hand. Very nice bug. You just have to credit that from Kotte, or you have to be angled on to the outside of the venue, to the right, to be able to catch that bug. So there's no other way you catch that bug. It's either that, or you see the arm is not swinging correctly, but that's also very difficult to do. So I think that this probably is not credited.
Credited. Yeah, and we're in a really good position, especially if we can drop this green book in the blue bookcase. Then all we've got to do is get Seduce and Contact.
Yeah, that is true.
Should be a pretty easy win for Shep if Kotte is not on to the fact that that's a green book.
All right, here comes a flirt.
Up to 68. Now's a good time for Contact. Quite a few people in. Unfortunately, the double agent is not one of them.
The double agent is not one of them. Yeah, exactly. So now we're sitting 68% flirt. We are in an okay spot.
This
right?
is
is a fine spot.
Right. I was gonna say that with the double agent being one of the only people out from the sniper's perspective.
Double agent. Thank you, double agent. We love you.
Nice.
Look at this. We're the only one in this conversation that's not a highlight. This is absurd. This is an absurd contact. 7 highlights in for real. And now we just need one more flirt and we can maybe just go for a microphone return on this.
Yeah, I think we do it now.
Or perhaps that Shep is not willing to go for that. But we're not getting much attention is a thing.
He's had that book all game. He's been on the left side of the venue. There's no reason he shouldn't dump that in blue.
I think that perhaps he's looking for going instead for that last flirt into center statues, perhaps just going for that, theoretically safer play that's not going to get you shot as often.
Probably gonna have to be Purloin.
Look at how not a suspect that we are compared to the rest of this party. Highlight central. In fact, I think we're running out of time to do inspect, so we are going to go for this Purloin. It's going to be a white test, but we're not being watched for it. Look at all these highlights. This is the effective highlights. And can Kotte shoot for a neutral light taking a drink? And it's not going to happen. Shep gets away with it.
Yeah, you've got to take a shot. 5 seconds left on the clock against a gold player, and the guest list is gone.
Yeah, and this is always what I talk about when I say you don't want to be a highlight when you do your hard tells.
Right.
This was a white Purloin. If you are a suspect at all, that's getting watched down. But Shep was not a suspect, so that wasn't as dangerous as it may seem on the face of it. Instead, Kotte catches it and is not willing to shoot for it. And that's just the power of being a neutral light among a party of highlights. In this case, even with this bug earlier as well, we already have a few highlights. It's a nice bug, kind of behind pillar 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm reviewing it right now, just looking.
Yeah, look at this. Look, Kotte is looking for a bug right now by Oprah. She's not anywhere near close enough, but she was pathing nearby. Look at it. So he rotates over to be able to see that. So on that moment, wait, hold on. Was this a book bug? No, it wasn't. It just looked like that from the sniper angle. It was not in fact a book bug. It was just a normal wrong arm bug. But because he's looking for that bug by Oprah, there's no way he can get around to angle on the outside to watch that bug. And even if you can, the party is pretty well covering that.
Yeah,
It's just a
Mom
good
is
bug
covering it.
overall.
Mom is covering it even from the far rotate on the very far side. So it's a pretty good bug. It's very well covered from a lot of angles.
Yeah. And that is the most dangerous kind of bug. So Shep goes up 5-3 over Kotte, managing to draw out Ballroom, which was Cotte's pick. And now Kotte needs to come back. It's 5-3. You can't afford any more losses if you want to win the set.
Yeah, we're gonna have Kotte on Rocker heading into Courtyard, and I've got it loaded up.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. You know, maybe I pound on the points a little bit too much, but I love it when the players and the game and how it lays out kind of justifies what I'm saying in my analysis. This is exactly what I was talking about all through the Ballroom set. So we'll see if Kotte can maybe cut down on those highlights this time. There were just so many of them.
Yeah, that's rough. You've got to change your strategy to where you're not ending up with so many highlights, which probably won't happen on Courtyard because Inspect is so valuable here.
Yeah, you're just going to highlight for Inspect. And so far, none of those, by the way. This is a pretty tame party for Inspects. You know, some Courtyard parties, you just have like 4 or 5 people go to statues in the first minute, and it's just absolute hell to watch. Because you're trying to watch those neutral lights, but you also don't want to be letting those highlights get away with things. It's really rough. And you just have more suspects that could be completing, because Inspects is basically a required mission on Courtyard almost all of the time. It's very rare to see mission completes on Courtyard without Inspects, just because of how strong they are and how many AIs do them, which allows you to blend in.
Yeah, and we're going to see Oprah picking up her second briefcase, and we did have a banana bread go off.
Is that her second briefcase?
Yeah.
She was taking a drink during contact. I remember this. So the fact that she's not low light could be absolutely huge for Kotte here. It could be bad. It could be very bad, in fact, for Shep.
Checking Purloin.
No highlights in this party at all. A big contrast from last game. Kotte with almost the entire party highlight. Shep with none. Not even for statues, by the way. We went into statues and we didn't pick up a highlight.
He's likely just memorizing who's been to statues, so I'll be interested to see what he's highlighting for.
Yeah, and we're not getting lowlights onto cast either, except for the ambassador. So I think that maybe he's just not bothering with lighting this game, which is weird.
He could also be pretty confident because Courtyard is a little bit easier to just memorize everything that's going on because there's no books and it's just a little bit of a smaller venue with good viewing angles. It's possible he's just trying to hide his strategy from
white
Kotte.
test Purloin here. There it is. Oh, shot immediately comes off and knows exactly what this chain looks like. Well, actually, hold on. There was, perhaps you saw the fade, but there was a chain of 2 people behind.
Yeah, the fade was pretty well on screen with it being Courtyard.
Yeah. It really is easy to see that fade, and it's correct. So, Kotte down to 6-3. Needs a win on Courtyard Sniper. Not impossible, but it is to stay alive in this set.
And we're going to have Shep picking Rocker.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Deja vu.
Yeah, I wonder if Shep there was trying to hide his lighting strategy by not doing any of them.
Not sure.
Not sure it'd be worth
with
it.
With behaviorless lighting strategies are often very hard to suss out. So it really requires getting into their head on what they think is spy-like and what's not spy-like and how that all works out. So far, Kotte is sticking to the normal lighting strategy, though, not playing like Sheph did.
We're not seeing a light onto wheels, though.
Another fingerprint. I think we are going to see a light on the wheels. There it is.
Yeah, another briefcase grab.
And this return is a little bit awkward. It's not quite right behind the ambassador. You really do want to be right behind them. when you do this on the return. If it's a little bit off to the diagonal, it's not correct.
Low light onto Damon.
Yeah, I think we've ruled them out. Yeah. Fingerprint on the on the drinks. We'll see if Shep noticed. It was on screen, so yeah. Here comes the request. It's gonna be a difficult, but I think that suits Shep just fine.
Yeah, getting a difficult as our second one here is obviously you know, a pretty good choice here, and we're at 144, so even if we miss it, we've still got a bit of time to get our second fingerprint later in the game.
Yeah, there's that green test. I don't think we have missed a green fingerprint all game.
I would sure,
all set, rather.
Yeah, I would sure hope not. With how often he goes for fingerprint, he gets a ton of practice.
Yeah, and I don't know how on top of this Kotte is, but you need to be on top of this. And it's such a hard shot to make too. Even on a 2 clean fingerprint game, on Courtyard, it's just so gut-wrenching to take that shot because compared to other 4 of 8 venues, it's a lot easier for AIs to complete both fingerprint and inspect in a single game on Courtyard. However, you know, it still is more likely to spy. You still do have to shoot for it unless you really think they haven't flirted. Here comes the last flirt for Shep. Green test. Now we just need the contact. And unfortunately, a bit of sliding here. Ugh. Checker, please fix. Oh my goodness. Is that a laser shake around for Kotte? Maybe frustrated with how the with how the sliding is playing out, or just not in control of this party. I know sometimes I get a little bit frustrated when I don't feel in control. But here we go.
I have a feeling it's going to be the lack of control here. We're going to know in a moment after this BB goes off. If this is green, do we take the shot as Kotte?
It feels so difficult to do. Look at how many people are. Oh, it's a red test! It's a red test!
They have a red test. We're on screen.
Cough. It's going to be on screen. Cough. There it is. The shot comes off. And that near perfect game. I red tested my cast. That near perfect game is ruined by a red test right at the end. Shep, who has been hitting green after green after green this set, finally meets his maker, pays the price for all of those greens. You know, anyone with a high green rate can tell you, they go for those greens on the edge, the ones that could be red tests. And that is where it hurts for Shep right now. Absolutely devastating. Could have closed out this set right here, but instead, Kotte is given a new lease on life with that cough. And now we're into Taeyen, which I don't need to tell you, Screw Loose. This is a venue where Kotte could absolutely bring it back.
Yeah, Taeyen is just a whole different beast. It is a 4 of 8, so it kind of feels like Courtyard a little bit sometimes, but it definitely doesn't play like it with the...
It does not feel like Courtyard at all.
I was thinking Ballroom, actually. I was thinking Ballroom.
Okay, Ballroom. Ballroom I can see a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I had that thought the other day. I was like, you know, this kind of does play like Ballroom, but I've got it lit up.
All right, Taeyen. Kotte on the spy side. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Last season, Taeyen was just barely spy biased. 51%, I'm pretty sure, for spy. 49% for sniper. Largely helped along, I think, the sniper side by Pwn Noob sniping it. Had a very, very high sniper win rate.
We do path by Amba there.
Yeah, I think far enough away. So despite the fact that we are a general with an amazing walking bug, that Shep is able to look at that and say, okay, this is definitely not a bug. That is good respect for your sniper, though, saying, okay, I know you won't think this is a bug, and I know you won't highlight me for it. So 51% on the flirt. Back to green testing. I think Kotte has hit a lot less than Shep this set, but still has hit a fair few. Kotte offered a drink. Not going to take the purloin. Instead, we're going to go in perhaps for a difficult fingerprint, but it's going to be gone. The suspected double agent is going to wipe it completely away. That is no longer a recent change, but it's still something a lot of players don't really think about. The instead of fingerprint being smudged on just an AI taking out a book. The fingerprint is now smudged on both AIs taking out and putting back, which makes fingerprints on bookcases a lot harder to get to.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to race and pull it out before the DA put it away. Smallman's going to pick up
Oh, in fact,
full
the fingerprint
inspects.
wasn't even there. The ambassador was holding a book still. So Kotte did watch the same putback that I did, so perhaps might go back to that blue bookcase for the fingerprint that was never actually there.
Yeah, and
Okay,
again,
here,
they're just really chasing down fingerprints. I'm hoping Sheph is catching on to this.
yeah, neither one of them seems to be paying any like particular attention. Oh, look at this. We don't do the bug, and I think
Laser was right on us.
look at
Sheph
that.
was
Yeah,
definitely
no,
watching for it.
yeah, Shep was watching for it. The thing is, that was really beautifully played, I think, by Kotte. He didn't take that bug. Shep was watching through the shoji, which is a lot of the time how you have to watch that bug, right? You need to be able to see the outline of the character when you play, right? When you're looking for that bug, because otherwise it's going to be obscured. So instead, we take the bug on the way back, and that does not seem to be caught. And instead, we have been credited with not bugging. We're still in trouble, though. Look at this. 51% on the flirt. With, oh, by the way, our ST Smallman, which is another little choice that you can make to make sure that Smallman is not your suspected double agent. So now we're still only 40 seconds left, though. 51% on the flirt. That is troubling at this point.
Yeah, we've got good, evenly spread mission progress, but really just not
Typical
enough
fingerprint.
time.
Red test on it. Unfortunately, looks like we're going to have to rely perhaps on a civilian getting shot. Here comes the contact. Green test. Smallman was just at center statues. He could get
green
shot.
test the flirt.
Look at this laser drifting down. Here it goes. Shot comes up, and Smallman even walks away as if he was trying to dance. Kotte getting bailed out by that choice to make Smallman his sucking target.
Wow. And Kotte, he may have been able to actually finish there. He was going to bail and go into statue and try and get that last inspect. So he was able
Shep
to.
is here for revenge, by the way.
Oh, what is next game
He's
up?
playing Smallman on Tan.
That's point for Kotte. Give me 1 sec. So.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Kotte could bring this back. This could be heartbreaking for Shep. A win turned into a loss on a red test contact.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, and Shep picking Smallman on Tan. You love to see it, especially as our last round. I've got it ready.
All right. Shep, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Has had control this entire set. But will we see 2 Smallman shots on Tan in a row for Kotte to come back? We're standing in the front of the venue, which is a very inconspicuous place for Smallman to stand. Obviously, not hiding behind any of the taller characters in the game. So maybe trying to lose heat before we do all of our crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, I like it, especially a Smallman. You kind of have to do it. I mean, if you emerge from the back of the party after the first, 20 seconds or what have you, you're going to be suspected as, a spy. So kind of hiding in plain sight for a little bit to lose some suspicion that you're going to gain later.
Yeah, for sure. Here comes the first flirt as the ST joins conversation across from us. Only white test, not exactly what Shep wanted to see, but it is still progress. And it wasn't guaranteed. The flirt came to us, as it were.
Yeah, 24%. At this point, I'd like to see us leave this conversation and get the flirt cooldown reset and then also be able to reposition closer to wheels.
Yeah, for sure.
He's going to do it for us.
By the way, we're intruding on the official stream. that's currently going on.
I figured we might overlap a little bit, but we're almost done.
Oh, is it not started yet? Or is it starting now? Actually, it's scheduled to be like starting out right now. So here comes the flirt. 58% now on this flirt. We're being offered. We're just going to reject it.
Was that a green?
It was a green test this time around.
So we're 1 flirt away if we can get a close green. But I do think we need to start moving to make some mission progress, especially if we plan on finishing. All we've got is flirt on the board. No inspect, no fingerprints. We need to make some moves here.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. 1:30 left on the clock. I think we might be waiting it out. We're playing Smallman and we're standing in the front of the venue doing nothing. Here comes a white contact with Toby standing behind us. This is going to be a little bit awkward. Yeah, we
Yeah,
take
this is always
we take the drink
unfortunate.
after the contact. That is a classical kind of like soft tell for the spy. Someone taking a drink after their talk during a contact. The question is, where do we find our win? Shep is going towards a timeout right now. So I think if we're relying on a shot from Kotte, it's a little bit of an awkward spot to be in, especially when you're playing Smallman, someone who automatically gets a little bit more suspicion on Tayen. So you're always gonna be watched anyways. So you can't go for that late rush as you might on another character.
I mean, I think here we've got to finish the flirt, run to the back of the venue,
Yeah,
grab
I
the
think
purloin, and
we may need to go for a quick bug, quick purloin, do something here. But
Sheph
there's just no
possibly committing
time.
to the
20
timeout.
seconds.
I think he has enough time to get the win if he can get to the back and get that contact and purloin off, and then
Yeah,
maybe
look
go for a
here,
crash bug.
here we go. Oh,
This is
but he's
not
going
enough
for a
time.
briefcase. This isn't it.
This isn't it. You don't even
We pick
have
up.
the other one.
Yeah, we don't even have the other one. We can't finish missions. It's just gonna be a timeout, and Kotte brings it back all the way.
Spy ran out of time.
Oh goodness, that is a draw. And Shep has to be so sad right now.
Yeah, I mean, he had a very strong start, for almost the entire set, and unfortunately just kind of crippled towards the end there with the red test into the timeout on Tayen as Smallman. So a well-fought match from both parties, resulting in a 6-6.
Yeah, and that honestly, Shep had control over that set so much, just kind of throughout. Excepting that one miss shot on high rise, which looks a lot, which looks even worse now when you know the end result, right?
Right.
Except for that one miss shot on high rise, it has been a very commanding set, but Kotte just got just enough to bring it back all the way to a draw. Very impressive from Kotte to make that happen. Oh man, that is going to make gold a lot more interesting.
Yep. Congrats to both players on each gaining a point. Opie, thank you for joining me, and I'm going to raid over to the official SpyParty channel where we can see a few more matches.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.